Next, we will explore, there is something called query parameter. The term parameter is common in almost all the programming languages. And how many of you remember, we discussed about parameter in the previous session? Parameter. When we discussed about the custom function, I explained to you about the parameter, right? Parameter. So what was the advantage of parameter in the case of custom function? You can pass any value to the parameter. For example, square me, we have created the custom function. There we mention the value as x, the parameter name is x. Since we use the parameter as x, you can pass any value to the x. What it does is, the value, whatever you pass it, that one will get copied to the parameter x. And for example, if you pass 2 to the function, the parameter value will get copied as 2, right? The x as copied as 2, and 2 into 2 is 4. That's what we have seen it, right? So the advantage of the parameters to make your transformations more dynamic. Or if you want to filter the data dynamically, this is very much helpful. For example, you create a report. Okay, you create a report, and that report shows only USA related sales performance. Okay, you applied the filter on the USA, and when you share it with the end user, you want to see, yes, let's say the end user is nothing but the VP sales. He's the one responsible for USA as well as UK. Okay. In that case, you can see only the US related sales. If he wants to see the UK sales also, you should be knowing it technically. But he's a top guy, he doesn't know Power BI and all, and he doesn't know how to apply the filter and all, right? So in that case, you can create a parameter in your report, and then you can share it to the end user. In the case of VP sales, once he receives the report file from you, when you open the report file, it will automatically prompt him, hey, which country you wanted to view the performance, type the country name. He has to enter United States or United Kingdom. So what happens is, based on the value that he entered, the data will get filtered accordingly. If you type United States, what will happen is, in the country column, it goes and applies the filter on the United States. If you type United Kingdom, in the country column, it goes and filters only the United Kingdom related data, so that he can view any type of country's sales performance. Okay, that's how you can make your filtering dynamic using query parameter. This is one scenario where you can use query parameter. Apart from this, the case of release management, also the query parameter plays an important role. For example, in the case of software development life cycle, once you have developed your reports, you need to test it on your own, whether you have any bug is there in your code, or whether your report shows the accurate value, and what are the business logic that you used it correct. Everything you need to test it. That is called self-review. Self-review. Okay. And see, it's something like, I cook food on my own, and then I'm going to taste it, right? Whether all salt and everything has been put correctly or not, right? Same way, once you develop a report, you need to test it on your own. Okay, everything is working fine, but still, you need to inform the QA team, quality team, right? So what they do is, they take your script or report file, and then they will use their own set of data. Okay, maybe the file name is same, but the data are different. The different data, they will test your report, whether your the report visuals, or the visuals in your report are populating the data with a different type of data. Everything, okay, they will test it, everything. If everything is fine, then that QA team will move your code to, or the release management team, they will move the code from the QA folder to user acceptance testings folding. It's something like this. I'll just write it here. So release management, okay. So you are a developer. In our case, right, retail, the workspace name, the retail sales analytics track 2 and dev. Okay, dev folder, developer folder. So you put all the reports created here in your team. Let's say you are in the offshore, we have 8 developers are there, report developer. What are the reports they created? They will put it in this workspace. Okay, like this, AG sales, it's kind of a data set, right? So the report file, you just think, this is a data file, and along with it, you can upload the report file also here. Okay, so in this folder, which is nothing but the workspace, all the reports, let's say in your project, this is your project name, it's a development folder. This is meant for developers. Okay, 10 reports are there. Okay, and what happens is each report, whatever the reports developed by the appropriate authors, they are the one responsible for conducting the unit testing. That is called unit testing, self-review, unit testing. They need to do the coding. Coding is nothing but report creation, right? And then once they create the report, they need to test it with different data scenarios, with the report, the visuals in the reports are populating the data or not. Does it throws any error? He has to test it. And also you need to check whether the code has been written optimally or not. Everything is fine. Once he has done the testing, everything, and during the testing, he found some issues and he is fixing it. Okay, and then he is doing the self-review and reviewing the code, whether any issues with the code or something. And then he is supposed to communicate to the dev team, the QA team. Okay, I'm done with creating the reports, whatever given to me. And the data, the reports are stored under this folder, workspace. You go and pick up from there. So QA team, what they do is they have another folder, retail, sales, analytics, track 2, and QA folder. So all the 10 reports or so, right, it will get copied here. And the developer, once the reports get copied here, you will not have access to it. These guys will go and test it left and right. In case they find any bug or anything, they will raise bugs in something like Excel file. Okay, bug tracker. There is something called bug tracking sheet. They'll put, for example, in your case, you have 5 report developers are there, 5 developers are there. Against each developer, they'll put, for example, Ashok, the report name is this one, and 5 bug 1. In the bug 1, what issues? Okay, and then open, status is open. And again, Ashok, right? And the report 1 and report 2. And we could see some cosmetic bug and type of bug, and then it is open. Okay. So, and then they'll raise all the defects. More the defects logged against you, you are in trouble. During the status call, they will grill you like anything. Why you put why in your report so many mistakes are there, right? And then it is the response of the Ashok to go, and once they communicate back to the development team, it is their responsibility to come back and look at the defect track log here. And then they need to fix the bugs raised by the QA team. And then you need to close it. You need to change it to status as closed. And then in the remarks column, you need to specify, okay, and what issues that you, in case, yeah, exactly, cross auditing, right? Sagar, okay. So the remarks column, you can put it. In case, you don't agree with them, you can say, hey, this is not a bug, man. So, because the given data, this is what the data, whatever I used it, with that only it was showing it. Then if they say are okay, then they will approve it. Okay, once all the bugs are closed, fixed, then the QA, all the reports, 10 reports, will get migrated from QA folder to EAT. So user acceptance testing folder. Okay, there the end user will test it. For example, VP sales and marketing manager, right? Like different department managers, they go and department managers and those people work for each department. They'll go and test it, and if they find any issues, right, they will come back. And again, as a developer, you need to move all the reports where they raise some defects, right? You move it back to your dev folder. You need to fix it. Again, you need to communicate back to the QA team. They will test it, and everything is fine. Again, they will get back to the UAT guys. They will test it again. Everything goes fine. They will push it to the production. Okay, in this case, what happens? The reports are migrated from dev to QA, but in the QA team, they use different data set, but the data file name is same, but the data that are there in the data files are different. They use their own set of data. With their data, they test it. It's something like, they will challenge you. With your data, the visuals are getting populated. With my data, I want to see whether your visuals in the reports are publishing it or populating it correctly or not, right? So they will challenge you and they'll test it. In case they find any issues, they'll raise it in defect log or defect tracker. And then everything is fixed, then UAT. Okay. So what happens here is the data file names are same, but the data are different and the folder name is different. So once the 10 reports get moved to the QA folder, this QA team, they don't know technically Power BI. Okay. And when they open the report, it should prompt them to enter the data file which they use it to test it, right? They should enter the path name and the file name dynamically. Okay. So for that purpose, also we can use query parameter. And other advantage of using query parameters, you are filtering the data, hence you are not querying the entire data. For example, like in the case of Walmart, they are operating across the globe, right? United States and USA itself, almost 3,000 plus retail chains are there, and huge volume of data. And in United Kingdom and likewise other countries, they are operating across the globe. And if the report shows all the countries' data, it takes a lot of time. Instead, if it shows only the subset of the data, specific country alone, specific country, specific region alone, it takes only the subset of the data, less number of data. Instead of taking the entire data, it takes only the smaller data and then populate the reports. In that case, the performance will be faster. So from the performance point of view, the query parameters are very much helpful. And to dynamically filter the data, right? So in that kind of situation, it is very much helpful. Even in the case of release management, it is very much helpful. And also you can replace the values in your data set dynamically using parameter. So parameter, you just remember it. You take any programming language, parameter is there. So with parameter, you can make your script or report files more dynamic. Okay, now I'll just show you how to create a parameter, query parameter in Power BI Desktop. And before that, let us understand what the types of parameters are there in Power BI, Power Query Editor. Look here, I just go here. Yeah, query parameter. There are three types of query parameters. One is any, list of values, and query. Okay, so now I just go here, and with this simple example, I'll just show you. In this case, currently I'm in Power Query Editor. So you can see the queries here, right? Just beneath the queries, you have the blank space here. You can right click on it and click on the new parameter. This is how you can create the parameter, query parameter. Instead, you have another option here, okay? In the Power Query Editor home ribbon, manage parameters, you click on the drop down and click on the new parameter. This is another way of creating the parameter. There are two ways you can create the parameter, two approaches. Either you can create the parameter using this option, or you can right click on it and click on the new parameter. It will open up something like this. Here what I do is I'm going to say the country ID, okay? Country ID param is parameter, okay? Give some meaningful name. And the type, here the type, this is a text data type, isn't it? The data type. Type is nothing but data type. Suggested values, like I said, there are three types of query parameters: any, list of values, query. You start with understanding any value, okay? Here the current value, what I will do is, this is, you need to specify. Look here, the current value is, I'm going to specify the US or whatever value you want. You can, for example, if you want to specify Australia, you can specify Australia. For the illustration purpose, I'm using AUS. Okay, very simple one. Specify the parameter name and then the data type, and what data type this parameter, text data type. Okay, it can take any text value, and what type of parameter is a any value, and current value is US. See, US is, so I'm creating a parameter for this column. Okay, that's the reason you don't put east west here. Okay, you can put that also, but it gives a meaningful name here, region parameter, something like that. Okay, I'm going to hit OK now. Look here, current value US. You can manage parameter. If you want to make a change to this, for example, you created a parameter, later you realize, no, there is a mistake here. I just click on manage parameter. You can modify it here. In this case, I don't have to modify anything. I'm going to click on cross. Okay, step one, create the parameter. We create the parameter. Fine. So we need to use the parameter, isn't it? We have to use the parameter. So what I do is I just go to the AGG sales. Okay, I'm going to AGG sales 2, right? I'm going to use this one. Here, I'm going to click on the drop down text filters. And here I'm going to say equals. And see here, can you see that country ID? Country ID equals. Here, you have another drop down. Click on it. Here, I'm going to select the parameter which I created it. Country ID parameter. Can you see that? This is the one we created it. Creating the parameter is not something you need to use it. First step is create the parameter. Now I'm going to use the parameter here. It's something like buying a car is fine, but you have to use it, right? If you don't use it for 1 year, what will happen? It's something like that, right? So you need to create a parameter. Once you create the parameter, you need to use it. Where should I use it? You can use it in the appropriate one. The country ID column, I'm using it, okay? And the next step is I'm going to hit OK. Since the current value I mentioned is the US, it filtered only US. So, okay, fine. I'm going to close and apply. Report file still got closed. Okay, look here. Yeah, it is going on. Let's wait for some time. Only 4 rows loaded. So if I want to test it now, click on the transform data from your report page, okay, report canvas. Here, edit parameters. Edit parameters. This is third step. Look here, US. So here, okay, let me do one thing. Before that, I'm going to create some report here. Okay, I'm going to create some table here. Not table. I want to use some column chart. Here, the sales tool that I used it, and the country ID, and then the total sales. It shows, Luciano, the kind of US. Can you see that US in US? Because that's the current value we have given it. If I want to see other country, if I specify Australia, AU, and if I get it, okay, what will happen? This AU will, the value AU will get copied to this country ID param. You remember the country ID param that I use in the country ID column, right? So where the country ID equals AU, it'll show only Australia related data. You understand? Look here, Australia data. So with the parameter, with this simple example, you're able to understand the parameter helps you to make your report more dynamic. You don't have to create, let's say you are selling products across 50 countries. You don't have to have 50 visuals like this. Within the same visual, you can display whichever country you wanted. Okay. Okay, I will explain this for now. Don't worry. Okay. So this is called any value. Okay. Her question is, what is the advantage of this? Dynamic, right? See, if you save this report and you share it with your manager, when you open the report, what will happen? No? When you open the report, it will ask him first enter the country ID. Because I am the owner of this report file, it is not asking me. If I send it to an email or WhatsApp, right? this report file. When you open it, first thing it will ask you enter the country ID name. Otherwise, it will not work. You have to enter the country ID, either AU or Australia or any country name. And then if you hit OK, fine. So in that case, the report user, you are the report user. When I share this report file, when you open the report, first thing is it will ask you the enter the country. If you specify Australia, it will display only Australia literacy sales performance. And if you keep the cursor here, you can see Australia 54,844 and edit parameters. And if you say US, Germany, right? We have something else. G, yeah. In this case, left in the desktop, you use G, right? When I use G, the German related data will get stored. Germany, so look at G, and if you hold 53,044, oh, why it shows the same value? Germany and let's say US 53,044. The US, look, yeah, it shows 34,000. It shows correctly 34,402. So you can dynamically enable the report users to view any country related sales, right? So this is any values all about. Next type of parameters, list of values. And here what I do is I'm going to click on the same parameter which I created. I'm going to click on the manage parameter. This time I'm going to simply change it to list of values. Okay, here I just say US and UK. So this guy supposed to view only the US and UK related data. But here you need to specify the default value as US and current value as UK. Let's say we specify the current value. Default value is UK, the current value is, sorry, default is US, current value is UK, fine. And now, this one, I just modify the previously existing parameter. What did I do? Simply, I change the suggested values. Instead of any value, I select list of values. That's all, right? And this parameter, I already used it in AG sales too. It does the filtering automatically. No, it is not doing it. First thing is you need to clear the filter. And then what you do is go and explicitly specify it here, the equals the country ID param. And here you just select the parameter, country ID param. And if you have more than one parameter, you click on the drop down and you need to select it. In our case, we have only one parameter created, hence you need to select this and hit OK. But the table is empty, it is not showing anything. And if I close and apply, what is going to happen? And here, transform data, edit parameters. Now it is not showing anything here. But this time what happens is, if you click on the drop down here, in this case, list of, it shows two countries, right? Let's say you are supposed to, let's say you are the one managing US and UK related sales. You are the senior person, okay? Either you should be able to see US related performance or you are allowed to see only this. You are restricting the users to view only the specific country or specific region. Here I'm going to, I selected US and I'm going to hit OK. And click on apply changes again and see what is happening here. Look here, US sales, it is displaying it. And again, if you wanted to click on the, and if you select UK, so in that case, you are allowing the users to, the report user to either select US or UK only. You're not supposed to, you're not authorized to view any other countries. UK is there or not? Here, yeah, we don't have UK, right? US, and Australia, Germany. Okay, we'll use Germany. Okay. I just go here, transform data. Look here, in this case, there is a mistake. There is nothing called UK related record. Click on the country parameter, manage parameter. Here, you need to specify not the UK, G, right? G, Germany. And the current value is, G. and I'm going to hit OK. That's the reason why it was not showing anything here. Now it is correctly displaying it. Correct. Should not be empty. I should have checked it that time itself. Any of. So Germany, because the current value we mentioned G related sales it shows, and if we click on edit parameters, and he should be allowed to view either Germany or only US related sales performance. He is not supposed to view Australia. He has no rights to view that. Okay, look here, US related sales. So now you understood list of values. In this case, you are giving more than one value, right? You can specify the list of values so that the user can view the sales performance of those specific countries, whatever you mentioned it here. Okay. This is called list of values. Any value, you can type any value there. Okay, any value, but there is no control there. Anybody can see anything, right? But with list of values, you are limiting the users to view only the intended country's sales performance. And next type is, next I'm going to, sorry, not the edit parameters. And we will go to the Power Query Editor. The next type of parameter is the query parameter, okay. In the case of query parameter, what you need to do is, first step, okay, I'm going to clear the filter here, click on the filter. And first step is you need to create a query here. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to use the country ID column, right click on it, add as new query. I rename with some meaningful name. Query country. So step one is create the query and then create a parameter. In that parameter, you need to use the query and then use that parameter into a table. Okay. So whatever you created, you need to use it. So in this case, I've created the query. Now the question, why should I use a query? But here, once you create the query, remove the duplicates. Okay, we are done. And then I need to use the query in this parameter. Click on the manage parameter. This time I'm going to use the third type of the parameter called query parameter. Once you select the query, it will ask what kind of query. So this is the one you need to use it here. Okay. Step one is create the query. Step two is use the query in the parameter and then use the parameter in your table to apply the filter. There, ready. And the current value US, let it be there. Okay, I'm going to hit OK. Next one is I'm going to close and apply. So now it displays everything, right? In the query, everything is there. It shows everything. And the transfer edit parameters. Here, if you click on the drop down, all the country names will be displayed here. Okay. And here you are allowing the user to choose. Let's say you are the CEO of the company. You should be able to see any country at any point in time, right? Let's say you selected G and hit OK. It will show only the German related data. No, here I did not use that parameter in the data set, right? I created the query and created the parameter, but I did not use the parameter in my data set. See, AGG sales, that's why I was wondering why it is showing all the country. Okay, here it should not, right? Text filters equals, I did not do this step. Okay, I need to select the parameter. Here, the country ID param. Okay, country ID param. Okay, here you need to specify the parameter only, not the query. Okay, because the query we have used it in the parameter already. Now we need to use the parameter in the data set. Okay, I'm going to hit OK. Yeah, now only it is correct. That's what I was wondering why all the country it shows. It's not supposed to show all the country data here. The purpose is defeated. Okay. If you operate across 100 countries, it'll show entire data. It will literally slow down your performance. Here, edit parameters. Like list of values, in this case, it shows all the countries. Let's say as a CEO, in the case of list of values, you are limiting the user to view only US and Germany. But whereas as a CEO, you should be given access to all the country. For example, if you want to see the New Zealand sales performance, hit OK. Now it should show the New Zealand retail sales. This is what query parameter is all about. Look here, NZ, New Zealand, right? Got it? This is what query parameter. To summarize, we discussed about the group by, how to perform group by, and we explored how to perform group by based a single column and more than one column, how to do that. And also we have seen how to do group by, how to perform group by rows, right? That also we've seen it. And fuzzy matching we have seen it as part of group by. Next we explored what is query what are the parameters in Power Query Editor available. Any list of values query, any value parameter will help you to enter any value in the prompt, right? So whereas in the case of list of values, you can limit the users to view only the specific country or specific region related sales performance. And whereas in the case of query, you have created a query on a specific column. In our example, I have created a query on the country column, and then I use the query in the parameter. My parameter name was also query parameter. In the query parameter, and I have mentioned the name of the query, and then I use the parameter as a filter in my country ID column, right? So that what happens is when the user click on the edit parameter, it shows all the the country related information. The user can select any one of the country at a time, so that each time the user can view only that specific country's sales performance, so that the performance will be faster. Instead of viewing all the country data, you are allowing the user to view only the specific country. But with the query parameter, you are enabling the user to select any type of, instead of typing the country name, right? You are displaying the country name there. You are allowing him to choose there. Okay, that is the difference between query parameter, any parameter, and the list of values also we discussed it, and the steps also we discussed it. Any questions? So with this, I'm going to wrap up, and other use cases will continue tomorrow. I was explaining release management, right? That we will discuss it tomorrow. Any questions so far? Yeah, Deepa, you want this report file? Okay, I will send it. Okay, don't worry. You want this one, right? Yeah, if you want, you can use it, but you can use it for reference. But I would suggest you practice it everything from the scratch. Okay. Okay, since you don't have any questions, I'm going to wrap up the session. See you all in tomorrow's session. Sorry, guys, tomorrow weekdays also I'm putting you in trouble. Yes, Sagar, I will share it with you also. Don't worry. Okay. Okay. Bye. Take care.